Hello and welcome to another episode of VHP Engines. Today I'd like to take the time to address one of the questions I get a lot. The one being is, what engine should I build for my car? If I want to build a fast Honda, what engine should I build? The main thing is, the number one thing is finding a chassis to decide on that you want to build. There's the great thing about Hondas is they're like Legos. I like to call them Lego cars because you can take a lot of different engines from a lot of different chassis and swap them around and make it all viable, make it all something that's really easy to do. Because most of the cars I mess with, being between the 80s and the early 2000s, are all they've all been done before. There's every combination that you can think of, somebody's already done. So maybe it's a little unoriginal, but all of the heavy pioneering has already been done. So it's easy to get in to do something and you don't have to struggle along with it. And that's why I love Honda in general, because it's a great all around budget car. You can make it super fast on a super good tight budget, especially if, like me, you're willing to do a lot of the work yourself. Um, Personally, I favor the Civic and Integra chassis. Are those the only cars I've ever built? No. Are those the only cars I ever plan to build in the future? Also no. But those are just the ones I like to do the most. As far as which engine exactly you should build, it really depends on also your budget and what your goals are for your build. Like, you need to find your horsepower goal, like where you how much power you want to make, and then based off that, get a decent idea of how much money you think you're gonna spend to get there. Now, you can make a decent budgeted NA motor that'll make 200 plus horsepower, from the B series side. But also, there's the K series engines which make the most horsepower I've ever seen in a out of these four-cylinder engines. But as far as actually making raw power for the cheapest amount of money, I would say the single cam is definitely the way to go. You can buy everything brand new for under $1,000 and get into the 400 horsepower range, which is it's fast. It's a 400 horsepower for any car is fast, And then when you put it into a car that only weighs 2,500 pounds, it's insanely fast. If you want to stay in a and you want to stay on a decent budget, I would recommend a B series. B series motors are all over the place, and with just a little bit of Frankenstein efforts and issues and work, you could make something that's going to break 200 horsepower. And depending on where you're at in elevation and your suspension and wheels and tires, you could break into the 12-second club, which is still pretty good considering that there's a lot of cars out there that are coming off the assembly line with 400 plus horsepower that are high 12s with a good driver. If you're looking to make an NA monster, like something that's NA that's gonna hurt almost anything you come up against on the streets, I would say K. But if you build a K, you're gonna be building with high octane fuels and really expensive swaps. It's gonna be expensive. Even with the knockoff brand stuff you can get, you're still gonna dig out more money for a K into an older chassis than you will for a B. So to sum everything up, I would say that the D and the B series engines are still Honda's go-to engines if you want to build something fast for an older car. If you want to stay in A, use the B series. If you want to go boost on a friendly budget, use the D series. As I start to do more of these reviews after I build the engines, you guys will see how much money is costing to do each one, and then you can make your decisions based off of whatever you want from that. Because I know that people are picky in the engines they like to use. I don't want to use a single cam, or B series is no good for me, or whatever the reason you have there. You're free to make whatever option. If you have any questions on something that I didn't talk about, and feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll address it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and feel free to share. Also, subscribe down below if you want to see anything more along these lines later on in the future.